The Africa Eco Race left Morocco on Monday to make its way into Mauritania. This time the Moroccan authorities said goodbye in style with a delicious breakfast at the border. After that the formalities went as smoothly as always on the Monaco Dakar, and then the competitors were ready to live the dream in Mauritania. It's now almost 2 weeks since the competitors left Monaco. After 5 stages in Morocco last week, the bikers are now delighting in the charms of Mauritania and its legendary sands. After 4 days in the country plus the stages in Morocco, the leading motul extreme rider is French. He is Patrice Carillon, riding with no assistance. An extra challenge for the 59-year-old sitting 17th in the GC. The challenge is to keep up the pace and not arrive too late in the evening, because then we have to prep the bike, maybe without any rest. The biggest challenge is to manage your race all day to get in quickly. New this year for the bikers is the rookie rider by a Cherbis, where you have to be less than 35 and not have done a rally more than 8 days long. And therein we find a great young rider, only 29 years old, from Switzerland. Alexandre Vaudin is 5th in the GC and took an impressive 4th place on the first day in Mauritania. Amongst the frontrunners, it's a 3-way battle, even if the 3rd place rider now has little chance of winning on Sunday in Dakar. Paul Therese aboard his Yamaha was still in with a chance of winning this rally, but an exhaust problem cost him precious time overall and his hopes of victory despite 2 stage wins. 5th in the last Africa race, he is 3rd overall, and his strategy now is simple. I'm now out of the running for the final win. I'm going to try and keep my 3rd place and do everything I can to help my teammate. I'll do that with pleasure. That teammate is Alessandro Botturi. The 2-time winner from 2019 and 20 doesn't have the upper hand though. He's in the chasing pack with a lead of 3 minutes and 3 seconds over the leader, his compatriot Jacopo Cerruti. Botturi won the 7th stage in Mauritania, but it wasn't enough to keep up with the leader. He will now have to rely on luck and perhaps a navigation error by Cerruti to win this event for the 3rd time. But Cerruti is no novice. At 34, the Italian already has a number of Dakars to his name, including a 12th place in 2016. He has led the race since the first stage in Morocco aboard his official Aprilia. He has 3 stage wins to his name, but none yet in Mauritania, proof that Rally Raid is also about consistency. To date, the 2-wheel classification is such. Cerruti leads, Botturi is 2nd, 3 minutes and 3 seconds behind. Therese and Griti follow him, and Vaudin, the leading rookie rider by a Cherbis, is 5th. A day to remember, Sunday 20th of January 1984. In its first outing in the prestigious Paris-Dakar organised by Thierry Sabine, a Porsche took the win, surrounded by 4x4s, all more obviously capable of handling the sand traps of the African desert. The Stuttgart firm claimed victory in the hands of René Mech and Dominique Lemoyne. To celebrate the 15th edition of the Africa Eco Race, there are no fewer than 5 Porsche 911 Dakars and a Cayenne taking part in the raid, a challenge in itself with 6,000 kilometres through the desert.
Yes, it was a big challenge, but we have very enthusiastic customers, and the customers would drive the car in the right road. And yes, it was Morocco was difficult for us, very hot, stony, and our 911 are not so high than Cayenne. But here in Mauritania, it's very beautiful. The dunes were cool. We can surf with our Porsche in the dunes. It was be nice, very nice.
To see Porsche back in the Africa Eco Race is to relive the African rally raids of old. It's magical to see these high-spirited cars, ever stylish, specifically prepared to take on the challenges of this edition.
We bring the cars here. We are the first. And the name from the car, it's Dakar. And for us, it was the right way to drive to Dakar. I don't think it's not possible to buy a race car, but this is a road car. He can drive on the Nürburgring and go to Dakar.
Now that we've seen Porsche back in Africa, there's one question on everyone's lips. Will we soon see Porsche in the race in the T1 category?
I hope so, but I don't know. We have with Thomas Krickelberg, it's the chief officer of this car, and he's very fan from rally events, and he calls me every day, but I hope so. I don't know.
Only time will tell, but for just now, let's just enjoy seeing these legendary cars back in the remote African tracks. On to the cars and the new Africa Eco Race Classic, where we find the African rally raid vehicles of old. For the moment, it's the Belgian team of Eric and Tom Clays in their Toyota 280 leading the charge. And for the man in charge, Yves Loubet, there's a lot to be happy about. The crews that are here are real artists in the regularity. I'm impressed. I have Philippe Bouvier here. He is a rally specialist who I have with me all the time on rallies in Morocco, etc. When you get into this historic regularity race, you realise that it's brilliant. And that's thanks to a person who worked with us on the rally called Alain Lopez, who is the absolute master. That's why when Jean-Louis and Anthony spoke to me, I really wanted Alain Lopez to be here, to be the brains and the heart of it all. On the racing front, there's one man who waits 50 weeks of the year to be back on the sands of Mauritania with his imposing Tatra. He is Thomas Tomacek, winner of the category in the last edition. The Czech, solo in his truck, is leading the desert behemoths and is even in the top 5 overall in 4th place. 5 podium finishes, including a stage win for Carlos Vento, put him in 3rd place overall for the time being. Spanish rally raid champion and winner of a stage in last year's Dakar, the Spaniard is a talented driver who has only been competing in rally raid for 18 months. In 2nd place, Pascal Ferrijn is 1st in the T1 category. At the wheel of his Toyota, the Belgian, in his first Africa Eco Race, after having been disappointed by the welcome on the Dakar, has his race under control. Ferrijn is proud of the Hilux. He hasn't had any major problems, and thanks also to the troubles of other competitors, he finds himself 2nd overall. Consistency pays. Talking of consistency, here is an expert. Gauthier Paulin is competing in his first ever rally raid. The former motocross world championship runner-up and race leader has learned quickly. At the wheel of his T3 hybrid, which he is driving for the first time, the Frenchman is gaining experience and, above all, enjoying himself immensely in this new landscape. In the GC, Gauthier Paulin still leads with a massive 3 hours and 41 minutes over Pascal Ferrijn. Vento is 3rd and Tomacek's truck is 4th. For this 15th edition of the Africa Eco Race, Jean-Louis Schlesser and his son Anthony chose to use the original dates. After all, for the race that traces Thierry Sabine's original route, January is the traditional month. Absolutely. For several reasons, we are really pleased to be back to our original dates in January. The temperatures and the weather conditions are more manageable. In 2021 we had to cancel because of COVID. In 2022 we were going to run it in March, but ended up in October also for COVID reasons. But despite all that, we ran the rally, but in less than ideal conditions. It was too hot with lots of sandstorms. It wasn't ideal. After 9 days of racing, there have been no major hitches. The participants are living the dream. An atmosphere is a happy one. Behind the scenes of the race, invisible to the competitors, are running smoothly. And it's time to draw some initial conclusions. Everything's going really well. We set off from Monaco. The start was magnificent. Boarding the boat was a bit long, but not too bad. So I'd say it's a smooth affair. The borders are easy to cross. We have been very warmly welcomed. Our collaboration with the 3 countries, Morocco, Mauritania and Senegal, continues to provide that we have good, long-lasting relationships. So we're going to continue as long as we can. With the race now back to its original dates and the 15th edition still underway, the organisers are already thinking about the 16th in January 2025 and even further ahead. We are even thinking about the 2030 edition. The aim is really to make a strong comeback after 3 complicated years. We have the classic race that we launched this year with Yves Loubet as director, which is very, very promising. We've had a lot of requests. So it's year 0, it's a test year, but all the boxes are ticked. The raid has grown enormously. We have around 30 motorbikes in the raid this year, with David Fretigny's big group and a few independent bikers from other makes who are also here. And in cars we have around 15 participants, which is also a record, with the arrival of the Porsche and the 911 Dakars. So all the lights are green for the Africa Eco Race, which plays a major role in the world of rally raids, and with perhaps the unique distinction of being a real family event. Absolutely, that's why I wanted to develop the raid, the classic and so on. The Africa Eco Race is an adventure that belongs to its participants. It's a competition, of course, but in the car, the motorbike, truck and SSV categories, but it's also an event that belongs to the participants. We organise it and everyone takes part in the party. We're here to give everyone a good time. Only a few days before the race reaches Dakar and the legendary shores of Lac Rose in Senegal.